And just like that, we're back again. Uncle BullCow in the building. We are gonna make hot sauce today, guys. So we are on our way out to the commercial kitchen. It is bright and early. What a beautiful morning it is. So we're gonna just make one hot sauce today, and we're just gonna take some little clips and show you guys the basics. And so hopefully you can learn to make your own hot sauce after this. And here we are in the kitchen, guys. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is get your ingredients weighed out. Make sure you have a formula. Make sure you stick to it, of course, especially if you are legit. You can use this hot sauce recipe for at home or for commercial use. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna give you my exact recipe, and if somebody steals it, I hope they get famous. Either they're gonna make me a partner or they're gonna get sued. No, just kidding. Anyways, guys, so I got my ingredients here. I got a beautiful array. I already weighed these out individually with that bowl, and I put them all together just so it's easier. And what you're gonna do with your peppers, you're always gonna wanna roast, smoke, or blanch them. You don't just wanna puree them up and throw the vinegar in there. They kind of, it just tastes a little bit pickled if you do it that way. But you want to get your ingredients weighed out. Make sure you have a good scale. That scale I got from Amazon 3 years ago. It was cheap. I've only had to change the batteries in it once, and it works great. You put I put a nickel on it to see if it weighs correctly, and it does. So I got my ingredients here, all weighed out, right? I always like to use little cups, and I always put. You see how I have the ingredients kind of sitting in front of, like the turmeric, in front of the turmeric. I do that so that I don't mess up and so that I know, hey, there they are. And so we got a nice array of habaneros and orange and yellow super hots in there, and our onion. And we got our recipe book over here. I told you guys I write all the lot numbers down, or the dates if it's fresh produce. About my inspections of the bottles, caps, and the visible vacuum. Thermometer, calculated, calibrated, which I just did. I'm about to write that in there. And your pH calibration, and your final pH and temp. All right, guys, so like I said, you're gonna either want to roast, smoke, or blanch your peppers before you start making sauce. Today for this sauce, we are gonna blanch. So I have some rolling boil, water boiling right here. That's how I check my my thermometer. Where at the elevation I'm at, rolling boil is 210.5 to 211 degrees, okay? Check make sure you know what your elevation is, okay? So I'm just gonna go in here. You wanna let them blanch for about 10 minutes, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take them off. You're gonna take that off, you're gonna strain it, and you're gonna put those hot peppers, they're gonna be hot in two ways. You're gonna put them right into your blender. We'll come back and show you that in 1 minute. And so once you get your peppers roasted, smoked, or blanched, you're gonna throw them in the blender hot. You see how that's steaming right there? And go ahead. Blend them up. Pause to tell you this. I always start off with the one, the lowest speed, get it chopped, and then I go to the 2, then I do the puree after that. Then what I like to do is hit it with some vinegar, so it helps it emulsify. Plus, it's easier to pour out of there. It's almost like a paste right now. So hit it with the vinegar, go back in, do a 2, then a 3. Cook it, guys. So what you want to do next is we just poured our puree into the pot. You can see that nice orange color right there. And that's when you're gonna wanna go ahead and add your other ingredients. I'm gonna show you guys a trick. I'm sure most of you know stuff like this, but if you're using honey or agave nectar like this, use the rest of your vinegar. So this is my apple cider vinegar. And pour it in there like that to help get it out. You'll see why. The vinegar helps break up the agave nectar. It helps it come out a little bit easier so you're not losing anything. You see what I'm saying? You can swish it around like you're at, you know, at a drinking fine champagne. You know, like you're aerating some wine. That's what I like to do. Yeah, I like to aerate wine. Just kidding. Just go boom, 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 boom. That vinegar helps break that agave nectar up so that you don't end up with a whole bunch of it. See? So you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose your agave nectar. Your recipe will be off. Throw in my salts, turmeric, or turmeric. Don't argue with me. I got my Reaper powder. People would wonder, if you're using fresh yellow Reapers, why would you use Reaper powder? I'll tell you a trick. That the Reaper powder adds a heat and a nice long burn, but it's not as bitter if I were to put all those Reapers in there. It's a smoother sauce. Some garlic. And then basically stir this up. What I'm using here, if you guys haven't noticed already, this is an NSF, so this is a commercial approved induction burner. Your sauce won't burn, won't scorch, it cooks at the perfect temp. I do have my thermometer here. I can temp that, and as soon as it comes up to, you know, to temp, and it's going to be spot on. So that is another trick. I'm giving you guys some gems here, man. I'm telling you, I watched some other people do things, and some stuff I just learned on my own. But so what I got now is I got this nice, beautiful orange sauce going. I have it on a higher temperature. I'm not going to leave it at that temperature. What I'm going to do is so what you want to do right now is cover that up, let that cook for a little while, okay? Then you're going to hit it with your stick blender. I have this is also NSF. It's a Vitamix. And this was pretty cheap. I got it on Amazon. This wasn't too bad, the Duck's Top. Well worth the money, well worth it, definitely. And this came with a double boiler, so I can actually use this as a double boiler if I want to do chocolates or something like that. So it really, really works good. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys, so it's been a few minutes. What we're going to do is we're going to go in now, and we are going to hit this with this induction blender. I'll probably hit it twice. Because I like my sauce to have I like a little chunky, but I also like it to have a good puree to it. This one has features. It doesn't suction to the bottom. It's like the cheap ones you buy from Walmart. It's a really, really good stick blender. What this does is when it cooks a little while like that and you hit it with a stick blender, it's allowing the particles to break down a little bit more. So this way you end up with a nice smooth sauce. Now, don't get me wrong, I use a lot of garlic, and I don't strain my sauces. I do like them to have body to them. They do have some chunkiness to them, but I also want that smoothness. So this for me is my perfect method to get me a sauce that is the consistency, texture, and flavor that I like. All right, we're gonna let that cook for a little while. I will hit it with the blender again, and then we're gonna bottle up. All right, guys, so my alarm went off. It is time to bottle up. So you guys see what I got here, what I'm wearing. I have a rubber glove, and then I have a Kevlar glove with rubber over top of it. Comment below if you know why. So the first thing I'm always gonna do is give it one final whisk. Sorry you can't see that, but it's not that important to see me whisk it real quick, but give it one final whisk. I have my temperature set at 220 degrees. And what I'm going to do is get some sauce into this confection funnel. And we're going to show you how we bottle up for shelf stability, and so on and so on and so forth. Always, you don't want this thing condensing down too much, okay? That will not be good. All right. Y'all ready? This is the fun part. All right, time to bottle up. I always go right to the transfer bead. That is that little lip on there. If you do that every time, it's perfect measurements, but that the state requires, the FDA requires for the vacuum and headspace. I forgot the exact measurements. Of course, I have it written down somewhere. I'm going to go right to that transfer bead. It can be a hair below or a hair above, but that's a good, it's a good guide. You know what I'm saying? All right, so there we go. I like bottling up like this. Some people, I don't have the big machine. There's actually one here, and I know a lady that owns it, and I could ask her to use it. The only thing is my sauces are a little bit thick. If you see something, sometimes it'll shrink because there's a little bit. You can always top it off a little bit. If you see, just kind of like, yeah, I can just put a little dot more. Boom. Let's go ahead and do it. Okay. Everything looks clean, but you can always check with a brand new, like, clean rag or something. You can just kind of tap that on top. You don't see any sauce coming off. You're good. I don't make a big mess when I do this. I don't want to clean it up. I don't want to stop. Plus, you need to be very quick with what you do because you're going to want to probe your sauce. All right, we hit a 180 in there, 184. If I can get this thing to stand still. There we go. All right. All right, we're above 180 on that. You'll see it fluctuate as you move around because the bottles are still cold. But you just let it sit in there for a minute or two and you'll see. You always want to stay, you have to stay above 180 when you're bottling up and hurry up and get these. This is why I have the Kevlar glove on because this will burn the hell out of my hands, right? Put it upside down like so. Woo, touched it with the wrong hand. I do that just for a short period of time. Make sure them tops are tight. All these bottles were inspected and sanitized before I started this, okay? This sanitizes that top of the bottle, plus it creates the vacuum that is in there, and it helps your shelf life last a very long time. It's at this time, if you want to, one thing you can do is you can put your, while they're upside down in the case, you know, I do this after I get them all bottled up, but I'll just show you guys one real quick. You just put your lock codes on there, like that, while they're upside down in this case, and then once you get all of them full, you put a piece of tape on this and flip it back over. That way you don't gotta keep messing with the bottles, and you have everything ready to go. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Uncle BullCow loves you. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Peace.